Oh, my name is Rebecca. Uh,
Nice to meet you, Rebecca.
yeah, I've been in depression, I can say, for almost all my life. Uh,
Oh.
all my life. I have a lot of issue on that. The first one is sexual assault. The second one is abandonment with my family. The third one was insecurity. Then I was very, very depressed for a long time. I never believed in myself. I never think I'm good enough. I always think that I'm that like girl, or when I was a girl, I was that girl. When I was a woman, I was not good enough. I never
Mm.
believed in myself. So when I turned 19, because a lot of trauma in childhood, I say, I never, my parents never raised me. I grew up with my grandparents. So when I met my dad, he was a complete jerk. I'm sorry to say this about him,
It's
but he
okay.
It's
It's
was.
okay.
okay.
He used to beat me up. He used to call me names. He was it took away all my confidence. So like when I turned 19, I decided to end my life. I committed suicide. I ended up in the mental health hospital. Uh, it was a quite like shocking journey to me because I always stayed with my parents, even with my grandparents. I was always stayed at home. I never knew to be in the mental hospital. I never admitted to either for myself aloud or to anyone that I'm sick or I needed help. So it was scary to me because every 15 minutes people have to come and visit me and they ask me question. I forced to eat. I forced to take a shower. There's no privacy in it. Like I everything you do is out in public because people think you're sick. Your
Mm.
mind is
You're,
sick.
you're
So
not
when you
able.
stay, yeah, you stay in the mental health hospital. It is not a journey I don't wish for nobody. I don't want nobody to go through that journey because it was not fun for me because when I take a shower, always people are stepping to look at me whether I've taken a shower or not. That they're gonna document it whether I perform it or not. My hair has to be combed. If the food I don't like it, I have to eat it.
Eat it.
Some exercise I have to do. Even some of the therapies, it was like nerve wracking to me. I really don't want to. I don't feel like doing them, but I have to do them. So
Mm.
after like 4 days I stayed in the hospital. I got released. Yes, love. What could? No, speak. Uh, uh, quiet, guys. So I got released from the hospital. Uh, so as soon as I left the hospital, I decided to get out of my dad's house. That's the first step I took. But when I did that, I ended up being homeless. Like I don't have anywhere to go. Some of my good friends let me stay in. Finally, I asked my best friend's mother. I call her my mom until today, and I asked her whether I can come and live with her. She was like, "Say, come in." She doesn't even think twice when she let me in. But the way she did it was she never asked me what happens to me. She never asked me like what like anything that happened to me. She never asked. She just gave me love. She make me feel comfortable. So I stayed with her for a year and I left for college. Once I was in college, I have two kids. And finally, my husband came to me one day saying that you have to go see a therapist because we cannot live our life like this because you are very miserable. You think everything is going to be all right, but it's not going to be all right. You have to admit it to yourself and you need to go see somebody. I was in denial. I was so mad and upset. I was trying to almost like I call him all kind of names. Finally, he makes me believe I should go see somebody, and I did. Like now, it's been 4 years. Man, I'm living the best life right now. I feel like I wish I'd done it earlier. I wish I went through the therapy, everything earlier. I was so mad. I didn't know like talking about it, deal with it, that's gonna give you a freedom. Now I'm a free woman. I'm not ashamed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm very free. Whoever gonna listen to my
Amen.
story, I'm gonna advise it. Please go get help. Go get help.
And then
Don't
for
be
you,
afraid.
the fact that you went through it, don't regret it because we need you. It's a lived experience. Then
Yes,
you can, help others. So
yes.
whatever
I
Hanoch
mean,
went through too,
I
we're
am
happy
mind
he went
blown
through
right
it.
now. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
beautiful.
like the thing that I just see right now is a complete 360 shift from sadness to being a healer,
Yeah.
wearing what you're wearing, helping people,
Look
sharing
at
the
you. Yeah.
story. I mean, we're collecting lights, people. Like this is a second light today.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, this is my. You have no idea. I was the miserable person ever. When I did my therapist, let me tell you, my journey was not smooth. The first
Mm,
initial was to get to know my therapist. The second one was she make me to write every single thing that it used to hurt me. And I
mm,
did wrote them. When I wrote them some days, because I live into that memory, I could not get up and even cook for my children. I used to stay in the bed crying. Some
Oh.
days it was painful, especially remembering about it, the sexual assault part. It was not an easy journey for me. It took me like almost a month to complete it, like to write about it, like because it hurts so
mm,
bad. I was 7 and 9 when the time I get sexual assaulted. And to write it all, I have to leave entirely against the memory. I have to leave it. And
mm,
remembering that, it breaks my heart. Like not only that, I feel like I'm 7 years old again. I was that girl again. And it hurts so bad. And I wrote it, I went through it. When I did, finally she have to reread it for me to tell me that that wasn't me, because the second part of this phase of once you wrote the whole entire journey, you lay down, the therapist will read it to you and to reassure you, I am not 7, I'm not 9, I'm not 15, I'm not this age, I am now in this age. To make it believe, I have to do it for almost 2 weeks to remind myself
Oh
I am not
God.
that person
wow.
anymore. And to do that, imagine it, like you have to leave every pain
All over again.
all over again. That hurts so bad. It will. I mean, I thought I was never gonna make it. And my husband was there. Some days he has to come and pick me up and take me home because I cannot drive. I couldn't, because the pain was too much. So I was
You're
grateful
so
to my
brave.
my children, my husband, and my therapist. Like, hey, today I'm a free woman. I'm not no longer
Amen.
scared. I'm not no longer 7 or 9, 15.
Yeah.
I'm a 33
Uh,
years old young woman. I live free
God
of
is good.
depression, anxiety, any kind of pain. And I would tell people it's okay. Do it. It makes you feel really good. And now I'm living my best life ever.
Yeah.
I applaud you. I
Thank
applaud you,
you.
Rebecca.
Thank you for being brave. You're
Thank you for
brave.
sharing.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing
Thank you
this
so
with us.
much.
Absolutely.